Okay, so to start with, did you guys have any questions from the previous session? Like yesterday we just sorted some simple programs like variable names, a little bit about data types. And then I just showed how you can take dynamic input from the user and how we can print the same. So do you guys have any questions on that? We can start with today's topic. So no one's speaking. So I think I can proceed with today's topic. Okay. So I want you guys to be, interactive. Any doubts, any questions, feel free to ask. And I would also encourage you guys to do the programs, if possible, parallelly with me. Okay. Because that will help you to understand better. If possible, if you have already installed in your system, then you can please you can also write the code parallelly with me. Okay. So yesterday I showed you how do we install from this particular website. We just download and we install. I hope you guys have already installed in your system. So once this gets installed, you just type idle over here. So this comes by default with this installation, and you open it. And from here, you can just click on file and a new file, and you can start writing your programs. Okay. Okay. So yesterday I just showed how do we take input from the user, and whatever input we were taking, we were printing that. Okay. So let's take three inputs. Okay. First, we are taking input. Please enter your name, and then we are taking one input as edge. So this input is an inbuilt function. Okay. Either you can give a string or inside this function for the user to understand what they have to input. Okay. Or you can also, if you don't want to give any, uh, keep the input function as blank. So that will also work. Okay. But the problem with this would be that user won't be able to understand like what they have to input here. Okay. So I will just take these three as input and I'm going to print them. Okay. Name, age, and height. Save this. We run it. So we are getting a prompt. Please enter your name, and our cursor is blinking over here if you can see. Okay. So this is my name. Enter your age, 29. So now see in the program we have not given any uh, uh, in this input, the last input function, we have not given any string to understand what the user, what we have to input, but we are assigning it to height. Okay. So see our cursor is blinking. I will just type some value here, 59. Okay. And then once I hit enter, so it is going to print my name, my age, and this height. Okay. So this particular string value that we are giving inside input function, that is optional, but it's always a good practice to give it because it will help the user to understand what they are doing. Is this clear, guys? Any questions here in this? Yes, and inside this print function, you can have n number of values. You can print many things just by giving commas and separating. So here, suppose I want to type like this. My name is this, and then I want to type another string. Age is So this is one value, this is second value, this is the third value, and then we can give one more value here. So they have to be separated by commas. Okay, that is one mandatory thing. And height is this. So you see all the values are separated by commas. Okay, you can have any number of values inside the print function. Okay, so if I run this, my name is this, edge is this, and height is this. Okay, so now we have uh, some keywords, okay, inside print function that we can make use of. Actually, it is called keyword arguments. Okay, we will understand what are keyword arguments, but so just I'm telling you right now, this is called keyword arguments. It's called sep and end. Okay. So before we see and we have to see the default function of this. Okay, so let's see. Here we are using a single print statement to print all the values. Okay, suppose I want to print it separately. Okay, I want to print this in one line. I want to print this in one line. I want to print this. Okay. Now, if we run this, so you see, so it is printing all the print statements. You know, it is printing it in new line. So this after we are not giving any explicit new line. This is getting printed, and this is so these are being printed in separate different lines. Okay. Now there is one yes, there is one keyword argument called end. Okay, so by default the value of end is new line. Okay, this backslash n, this stands for new line. Okay, by default this is the value. uh, if we don't give any explicit value for end, it will take this value. So this stands for new line. That is why we are seeing each print statement is being printed on a new line. Okay, so what if we remove this new line and we give our own input? Suppose I'm giving a hyphen. Okay, here also I'm giving a hyphen. Okay, so now this we'll see what is the output, then we'll try to understand what is this. A moment, why this is not. Yeah, so please enter your name, edge, height. You see the difference in the output. Now instead of new line, it is getting printed on the same line but with a hyphen. Why? Because in this program, uh, so we have replaced the default value. Okay, this was the default value for end is a new line. Okay, and in Python, in other programming languages also, this backslash n. Okay, this stands for a new line. So by default, this print statement was having the value of end as new line, but we have removed it by replace it with a hyphen. Okay, so if we give a backslash n, you will see the previous output that we were getting, like each line being printed on a new line. See this? Okay, so so what is the use of end here? To understand, like for each print statement after printing the line, what it is going to do. Is it uh, like if we have multiple print statement, okay, if we want to do some custom modification rather than printing each one on a new line, if you want some customization, then we can make use of this end keyword. So is this clear, guys? Any doubt in this end keyword? Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Now we will see the use of SEP. Okay, so so let's comment out these. I'm just commenting out the 3-print statement. So suppose I'm printing everything on the same line in one single print statement. So if you run this, please enter your name. So see, so this is one variable, this is second variable, this is third variable. Each is having a value of space in between, if you can see, right? There is one space in between. Okay. So we can assume from here. So by default, the value of SEP is a single space. Okay. Now suppose I want to have some between each variable, I want to insert some, this hyphen, like 4-5 hyphens. Okay. So now if I save and run this, you see this between each variable now, rather than having a space, we are inserting this hyphens. Okay, with the help of this SCP keyword, SEP. So this was basically the use of SEP and AND. Okay, so if we are using a single print statement, and if we want to insert something between each variable, then we can make use of this SEP. And if we have multiple if we have a multiple print statement, and if we want to print them on a single line or some customization, then we can override the value of this \n. So this SEP and AND, I hope it is clear, guys. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, so no, we write only SEP then. Could you please elaborate on this? Like, what do you mean by Jayshree? If we write only SEP then, like, what is the question? So this question is I'm not able to understand this question, Jayshree. If you can explain this a little bit, what are you
actually
yeah.
I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible.
मीन्स आई मीन टू से अगर यहाँ पे सिर्फ सेफ लिखते हैं तो मीन्स वो स्पेस प्रिंट करेगा क्या? मीन्स सेफ इज इक्वल टू स्पेस, उसको मीन्स अलोकेट करना ही चाहिए क्या?
You mean to say if we have only a single space here?
नो नो, ओनली सेफ. वो
If we write
ऑटोमेटिकली, हाँ, वो ऑटोमेटिकली सेपरेट मीन्स वो प्रिंट करेगा क्या? मीन्स स्पेस प्रिंट करेगा?
no, so what will happen now? What will happen? So the question of from just for everyone's understanding, those who are not understanding Hindi, she is asking that if we write only SEP, we don't give any value here. So what will be the output? Okay. So
Correct.
yeah. Yeah, so hope you guys understood the question. So basically, this SCP or name or age or height, okay, so this will it will take it as a variable. Okay, so I have also not tried this, but from my understanding, this is going to give you an error that this SCP has not been declared before, because the name has been declared before, age has been declared, height has been declared, but SCP it will take it as a variable name and it is going to give error. From my understanding, I also have not tried this. Let's run this. Okay, so please enter your name, Sam, please enter your age, 23, enter your height, maybe 5. So if you see this error, SCP is not defined. Okay, because it is
I
taking this.
thought it was a keyword that means it's automatically get means space.
No, so if you see if you write like this, if you give some space, then that is then this will be a valid this thing. Okay,
Okay.
so if we want the default value, okay, it will just print it. We don't need to specify this SCP. Okay, hope it is clear, guys.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sure. You are free to ask any questions. Okay, I would like the class to be more interactive because there are many things I also don't know. If you ask questions, if you think from a different angle, so I will also think about it. Okay, yeah, this can also happen. Okay, so I encourage you guys to ask as many questions as you wish. So we have seen this, and we have so basically, yes. Let's come back to our string declarations. Okay. So right now I am okay. Let it be like this. We'll create a new file and we'll see. Okay. So suppose I am writing one sentence. Welcome, or we can say this. My pet's name is Jack. Okay. Well, let's forget about this. Yeah. So basically, I have this is the string, right? We have enclosed in double quotes, right? Yesterday we saw string, we enclose it in a double quote or a single quote. Okay. So if we see the type of this, okay, this is 22, right? Just naming this as so if you see this, it's a class string, it belongs to string class. Okay, we can have it in single quotes also. Okay, this also belongs to class string. You can have triple quotes also. Okay, so now what if uh, I am starting my string with a double quote and ending with a single quote? Okay, because our string can be within single quote or double quote or triple quotes. Okay, so I'm starting my string with double quote but ending with a single quote. Is this going to work? Anyone wants to take a guess?
I don't think so.
Okay,
This will
let's see.
not work because it can take it as inverter.
Apostrophe, you are saying.
Correct. Yeah.
So we are getting unterminated string literal. Okay. So unterminated string literal. Okay. So what is okay, from here we can understand what is a literal also. Okay. So first of all, whatever value we are giving, okay, suppose this is a value, this is called literal. If in technical word, if you say in Python, in technical word, it is called a literal. So basically this is the string, so we'll call it string literal. Okay. So suppose if I have age as 32, so this particular value 32, this is called an integer literal. Okay, literal. A literal is like this. The values are called literals. Though these questions are not asked in interview, just for our knowledge, I'm just telling you. Okay, the values are called. So if it is a string, it will be called string literal. If it is an integer, it will be called an integer literal. Okay. Similarly for other data types also. So basically, one rule always remember for the string declaration, anything that uh, mm, the like starting and the closing this should be same. Like if we are starting with the double quote, our string should end also with a double quote. Okay. If it is starting with a single quote, and our string should end with a double single quote also only. Okay. If we are mixing, starting with a single quote, ending with a double quote, that is not going to work. That will throw you error. Okay. So now here, see, we are just putting our string in in single quote only. So this will run fine. Okay. But if we change one of from one single quote to double quote, then we will get the same error, unterminated string literal. Okay, is this clear? Our starting and ending should be same.
Yes.
Okay, so now suppose I have okay, now I have two inside this also. Suppose my pet slide, I want so we have got three double quotes in our string. Okay, so we have got this, we have got this, and we have got this. I want to print it like this. My pets in between T and S, I want a double quote here. Okay, so is this going to work?
It will only print till my pet.
And what about this? S and name is this?
And that will not get printed because
Yes.
it will consider the sentence until pet only.
Okay. So again, we will be getting an error. Okay, because this it is taking this as a single statement entire thing. Okay, but this has been till this it is valid, but after this it is not valid. Okay, so whenever we have this kind of scenario, we will be using backslash. Okay, we will be using backslash. So this what is the use of this inside a string? You know, it can be used to skip the characters. Okay, to give them some special meanings. For example, if I use a backslash here, okay, so this will not be treated. This will not be read. Okay, this will not be, the interpreter will not try to evaluate this. It will just print as it is. Okay, without trying to interpret this. So if I run this, see this, we got the output without any error. Okay, so we make use of this backslash to escape any character, to give them some special meanings. This is one way. So any doubts, guys, here? Okay. So another way, suppose in our string we want to enclose double quote without using a backslash. What we can do, we can enclose our entire string in single quote, and then we can use double quote inside it. Okay, this is another way. Okay, now suppose if we go to the first the thing what we are seeing earlier, backslash with this. Okay, now there are some special thing called control codes. Okay, control codes like \n and \t. Okay, so \n here stands for a new line. Okay, and \t stands for a tab, what we give a normal keyboard tab. Okay, so if we give a \n over here, okay, we are using this, so this has got some special meaning. Okay, they have special meanings. Right, so if I run this, okay, let me print out this sentence, then you will be understanding this. In this sentence, you see this, how it is getting printed? It is printing till my pet, and then this \n stands for a new line. So it is telling to insert a new line and then print the rest of the stuffs in the next line. Okay, so if we remove this \n and we run it normally, it is going to print it in the same line. Okay, but if we give a \n, it is going to print it print till this in one line and this in the second line. Okay, and if we use a \t, so it will just enter one tab. Okay, one keyboard tab, what we have. See, this is a tab. So if these are inserted in your string, so it will behave like this. Okay, \t and \n, they stand for control codes. There are some more control codes, but these were the important ones which I need to discuss here. So is this clear, guys? Any doubts so far till this?
So Danish, these are actually, I have another question. Like these are two different windows that you're using, right? You're writing somewhere and it's running in another window, right?
So initially when you launch idle, this will be launched.
Okay.
Okay. And from here, I am just creating a new file and then writing my code here, and the output is getting printed here in this one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
If, so any question related to this, what we have covered? Okay, nothing means I think no question. Okay, so let's come to one interview question that is asked few times. For example, so this was basically, so string we have covered. Okay, like single quote, double quote, triple quote, and how we can if they just double quote, how we can avoid getting error in this case, and also some control codes. Okay, so we have a lot more to cover in string. We have a lot of other function methods. Okay, we will cover it as we progress in our this course. Okay, so now we will see how can we swap two numbers. Okay, um first we will see with uh, by using a third variable. Okay, this is one question. And then we have how can we swap two numbers without using any variable. Okay, so so suppose we have two numbers. we have two numbers. First num will and second num is to 24. This one I'm just printing these two numbers. First number is num. Okay. So now the first scenario, how to swap two numbers using a third variable. Okay. So let's come to this diagram. Suppose this is the name and this one. I will just rename this. First num and this I will rename as second one. Okay. So my first number is 12 and second number is 24. I want to swap these two values. Okay. By using a third variable. Okay. So what can we do? Suppose we have another variable we created. This is a temp variable. Okay. So what we will do. So initially what we can do, we can just we can assign this 24 the value of the first number to this temp. Okay. So what is going to happen? Here. First, let me write the program, then I will tell you. Okay. So we have a temp. We have another variable called temp where. Okay. So here, what we are doing, we are assigning the value of the first variable, first number. Sorry. Okay. So what we are doing, this 24, we are placing it here. So temp. So now, okay, let's let it. Okay. So this number we are putting it here. Okay. And then what we will do, we will place the second number to first number. I think it's a little bit confusing in this diagram. We'll try to explain in this program only. Okay. So what we are doing here. So we have this first number in this temporary variable now. Okay. And then what we will do, we'll assign this second variable to this first variable. Okay. Now this first variable, first num is having the value of second num, that is 24. Okay. And the value of first number is in a temporary variable that we need to assign to the second variable. Okay, it's very simple. Just 3 lines of code. If you try to understand what we are doing, we are just assigning the value of first variable to one new variable. Okay. So now we have the first value of the first num saved in a temporary variable. Okay, that is safe. Now what we are doing, we are assigning the second number to the first numbers. This is what we want to do. We want to swap. Okay. And then what we are doing, the first variable where we stored our the first number, that we are assigning to the second variable. Is this clear, guys, or shall I explain to you in a better way? Now, if you see, let's share something like this. After swapping, this is a value, and can have another statement. Okay, so before swapping the first number as this and second number as this, after swapping the first number as this and second number as this. So is this clear, guys, what I am doing? Any questions?
Will temporary variable create a separate memory, or it will point to
Yes,
the
correct.
file?
Correct. So temporary variable, right? So it is pointing to, so yesterday we saw, if you see this,
It won't point to the same value which is having in the memory.
it points to the same value. It will point to the same
24.
value. Yes.
24 is there, right?
Let me show you like this. So this was the scenario. It was on 12. Okay. So initially what we are doing for this temp variable, we are giving the value of first num. Okay. So temp is pointing to this. Right. When we make this statement here, temp variable equals to first number. So whatever the value of first number will be, it will point to that. So first number and temp both are pointing to this. Okay.
Okay.
Then what we are doing, we are making second num equals to first num. Okay. So now the first number will point to the second number. And what we are doing, we are just removing this first number is now pointing to the second one. Sorry for this diagram. Yeah. This statement. Okay. And then what we are doing, we are just pointing the second num to this temporary variable. So in this way, we are swapping the value.
Okay.
Okay. This was using a temporary variable. Okay. What if we this is very simple, but they will ask you, we have to swap without using any variable in between. Okay, we don't have to use this temporary variable. So in that case, how we are going to do? I just commented this logic what we have written. Okay, in that case, what we will do? We will first name is 12, second name is 24. So we will just do addition of the two numbers. Okay, first number equals to. So we have this plus sign. We can add two numbers. Okay. So now after this step, what will be the value of first number? 12 plus 24. This is just addition, normal arithmetic addition. So this will be 36. Okay. And so after summing up the two numbers, it is assigning back to the first number. Okay. So that is why from 12, the value has become 36 now for first number. Okay. Now, second number, right? Here, what we are going to do, now the value of first number is 36. Okay. And the value of second number is 24. So 36 minus 24 is how much? It is 12, right? If we do this, first sum is now 36. Second number is 24. So if we do a normal subtraction, the value will be 12. That is nothing but the value of the first number. Am I clear, guys? I hope you guys are understanding. If not, please let me know. Okay. So the value of second number is how much now after this? It is 12. This has got nothing to do with Python. This is, I'm just telling you, it's a basic logic building. Okay. This is in Python. This is just how do you, solve a problem by using your logic. Okay. So the value of this is now 12. Now, if we subtract the first number, so first number is 36 still, okay? But second number is now 12. What we will get? That is 24. So if I run this, initially it was this, and then what we did like this. What we have done, we have just, first we have sum up the two. After summing up, we have stored in this variable here, this 36 now. Then I have subtracted the second number from the first number. We got the first number in the second number here after doing the subtraction. Okay. And then again, we are subtracting the sum of the two with the new value of second number, that is 12, and then we are getting the first number. Okay, so if you guys are not able to understand this logic, no problem. You spend 5-10 minutes thinking about this, because I know for the very first time, if you're saying it, it would be difficult to understand. But once the class is over, just spend 5-10 minutes, think a little bit about this logic. Then you will be able to understand like how we are swapping these two numbers. Okay. So this was the second. So this was how we are doing it without using any variable. This from this. Okay, and this was with a variable, with a temporary variable. Okay. Now in Python, so these like this we generally do in other programming languages. Okay. In Python, it is very simple to swap two numbers without using any third variable. Okay, so it is very simple. We just have to write this one in one single line. We do it in Python. Okay, first name comma second num equals to second num comma first num. This one line will do the swapping of the two numbers without using any third variable. This one line. Okay, then why I showed you these things, okay, by using a temporary variable or by doing just addition and subtraction. This is for our logic building. Okay, because when we solve a program, anything, okay, we have to think about some logic. Okay, how we approach a problem, how we can solve it. There can be multiple ways of solving it. So that is why I showed you these two things. But in Python, you can just swap the two numbers by this one statement. Okay, here what we are doing, we are assigning the second number to the first number, and we are assigning the first number to the second number. Okay, so if you see the result of this, so let's copy these two print statement. So this is asked in interviews some of the times. Okay, few times they will ask you this simple questions also, just to test like how much you are knowing. Okay, so this is just for your basic knowledge. So this is let's print. I'm commenting out the rest of the code. Okay. Commenting out the rest of the code. There is some. Yep. So now our rest of the code is commented. I'm just using a single this. Okay. So is this program going to run? I have made one mistake. Can you please highlight me, guys? If you can see what mistake in this print statement, I made some mistakes. Can anyone tell me what is the mistake here I made?
Use print statement after the declaration.
Perfect. Like this declaration, right? We are declaring it here. Our program is read from top to bottom. Okay. So first it will read this line. It will see first number. Has it been declared earlier? No. So we will get some error. So we have to declare it, or we have to use it after declaring the variables always. Okay. Hope you guys understood. So now if we run this, you see this in one single line, we are able to swap the two numbers. Any doubts, guys, till now in this particular problem? Okay. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so this we have seen swapping of two numbers and control code we have seen. Okay, now yes, now we can see some more this normal. What are the arithmetic operations allowed in this? So we'll see some of them. And some file is open already. Yes. Okay. So let's suppose so normal arithmetic operations that we operators that are present in Python that we use generally. Okay, we have for addition we have a plus sign, for subtraction we have a minus sign, for multiplication we have star, for division we have this, and we have for floor division we have something called two divide symbol, and we have a double star. This is for exponential. Okay, so suppose we are giving one value a as 10 and b as 5. Okay, a as we can give us 2. So let's do normal addition. Plus b. Here we have another subtraction. Multiplication. Division. And we have this floor division. We have exponential. Okay, so we'll explain to you. So these are basically self-understandable. This still division. So floor division we have, it will only take the quotient and not the remainder. If we like in schools we study, right, quotient and remainder. So what will happen, a by b, right? So let's make a as 10. Okay, 10 not 10, make it 11. So if we divide 11 by 5, we are going to get 2 as quotient and 1 as remainder, right? So in case of floor division, or in case of if we divide the 2, right, 11 by 5, what are we going to get? 2.2. Okay, so it will take only 2. Okay, it will ignore the part after the decimal. Okay, that is floor division. Okay, that is this is floor division. Exponential is quite 11 to the power 5. That is what we are going to get. Okay, so let's save this. Okay, so addition is normal addition. What is the 11 plus 5? 11 minus 5, multiplication, division, floor division. It will just take the what do you call a non-decimal part, and exponential is normal 5 to the power 11. Okay, so any doubts in these basic operations, guys? Anyone?
Okay, Danish. So this green alphabets that we have written, it is for our understanding, right? But when we do practice, we don't have to write. We can directly write A plus B. So it will also function, right?
Right. This is just for for our understanding
Understand.
language.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for writing that actually.
Yeah. Actually, in real time also, we always like if you
Prefer
write any
writing
code.
this.
Yes, for better understand readability, we always give like what we are doing for others also to
Okay. Okay.
understand.
Yeah. Good. Good. Thanks.
Okay, so this is the thing we are doing this. Suppose now I want to make this as dynamic. I don't want to give static value to this. Any value user can enter. Okay, so how are we going to do this, guys? We want to make it dynamic. How are we going to take input from the user? We have covered it, if you guys remember.
By using input keyword.
Correct. So yes, so input, yes. So input is a built-in function. Okay, always remember that. Input is a built-in function. Yeah, it is also a keyword also. It is also an inbuilt function. Okay. Enter the first number. Enter the second number. Right. I just run this. Let's see whether it is going to. Is this going to work or is it going to give an error? Let's see. So we have enter the first number. I'm giving as 12. Enter the second number. We're getting as 3. But we are getting errors. What is the error we are getting? Unsupported operand types for minus sign. String and string. Anyone wants to take a guess or try to why we are getting this error? What is this error? So operands. So let's understand what is operand. Okay. So this is the operator. Plus is an operator. Minus is an operator. With that operator, whatever we are using, these are called operands, like A and B. These two are being used with this operator. So they are called operands. Okay. A and B, these are called operands because they are involved with this operator. Okay. So that is operand. And it is saying unsupported for string and string. Okay. So what it is telling me,
It's
there are two.
considered as a hyphen maybe.
No. So what it is telling, we have two strings. First name Sam, second name King. What it is telling me, you are trying to subtract these two strings. First name minus second name. You are trying to do this. A string, we are subtract. Just telling you are trying to, if you see the string and string, is telling this subtraction is not supported for string and string. We cannot subtract two strings. That is what it is telling us. Okay, but it did not give us error for this plus sign because first it should it is reading this, right? If you see, it printed the output, but is it the correct output? 12 plus 3?
No.
No, right? It is not the correct output. Why? Because in string, if you use a plus symbol, it will concatenate, it will join the two variables. If I use a plus here, let's me comment out this. Okay, I am just printing this first name and second name. It will just add these two variables. Okay, But if we use it with integers, it is going to do a normal arithmetic addition. But if we use it with strings, it is going to join the two strings, or in technical words, it is going to concatenate the two strings. Okay, so now let's try to understand about this error. So anyone wants to take a guess why we are getting, see, we are taking input. Okay, so input is a function. So, and if we see, if you want to, suppose we have taken two inputs A and B, okay, I just want to see the data type of these two input. Okay, how we check the data type? We use a type inbuilt function, we give the variable name. Okay, let's first try to find the data type, like whatever input we are giving, what is the data type of those two inputs? So the first, though I am entering 12, okay, I am entering 23, but what it is taking, it is taking it as, so what is the data type of these two inputs? Okay, thinking, do we need to declare the data type? Shweta? No, Shweta, in Python, we don't need to declare the data types. It will just read your value and it will try to find out what is this value. But here, if you see, it is taking this as string, right? So just remember this input function, right? The return type. So we have not covered functions. Okay, we will see what is return type when we study about functions. Okay, this is just, I'm writing for your information, return type of input function is string. Okay, what is return type? I have not taught so far. I will teach you, but just remember, whenever we give any value as input, it will take it as a string. Okay, now suppose if I want to do some arithmetic operations on this string, so we have one function that is called int, and this bracket. Okay, this is going to convert string or other data types to integers. Okay, so what we will do, we will, whatever value we are getting here, we will just wrap it up with this int function. This will convert the string into an integer. Okay, this int function converts a string or the other data types to an integer. Then we can do our normal string operation, integer operations. You see this? Now the class is integer. So is this clear, guys? Any doubt here? Anyone? All right. Thank you for the confirmation. So similar to integer, we have methods like float. Okay, that is going to convert string or integer to float value. Okay, also we have a similar function called str string. Okay, this is going to convert your integer or float to string value. Okay, we have similar methods for float and string. So let's suppose we converted these two into strings. So suppose we can have one value as float value. Okay, so we are converting A into integer value and B into float value. So what will be the difference in the output if you print both integer value and the float value? What can be the difference in the how they look? Okay, we'll just see that. First number is 12, second number is also 12. If you so this is printing the first number, this is an integer, and this is printing the second number, this is a float. So what is it? What difference you can see between the two? This is integer, this is float.
With decimal.
Correct, that decimal place with the 0 at the end. So this denotes this is the float value. Okay, and without decimal and without 0, this is an integer value. How will the so let's comment out this for the time being. How will a string look like? Suppose I am removing this in function. Okay, I'm just so normal. If you don't give any value, any conversion, it will take it as a string value. Okay. So it is showing 12 and 23. So this is showing as it is like an integer value. Okay, but if you see the type of this, this belongs to class string. Okay. But it is being similar to it is showing similar to this integer. Okay, but if we convert this it explicitly as a string, okay, then we see what is the type. Yes, although it's a string, we are again using this string. Oh, sorry, we have to just print the numbers, print the values. Okay. So it is basically printing like this, but in few cases, like if I declare explicitly some name, if I print this, okay, fine. In some of the cases, it will show with a single quote. Okay. I think here only, but it's fine. No problem. So yes, so we saw this. How do we convert from one data type to another data type? Okay, but there are some conditions where we won't be able to convert from one data type to another data type. For example, in this, I'm trying to convert this to an integer. Okay. And then I'm printing the two numbers. So suppose in my input enter the first number, what I gave, I just mix some characters, SAM12, okay, SAM12. So when we don't so this is a string value, okay, and it is trying to convert this in an integer, but this SAM, this SAM has got, it's not an integer value, so that is why it is giving me an error, invalid literal. Okay, so so when this int function will not work, okay, if we have any characters inside, if we have any characters in literal value, then it won't work. Okay, this conversion. In fact, even if you tried using float, if you give some string values, characters, it won't be able to convert. We'll get the same error what we are getting here. Okay, and so this was basically this. One more thing here. Suppose if I want to convert, string to integer. We already saw, right? Yes. And string to integer we saw, integer to string is so. Okay, now I want my system to understand that if we enter values like 23.0, okay, it should take it as float value. Okay, and if we give only 23, it should treat it as an integer. Okay, so basically here we are explicitly telling, right, convert no matter what value we give, you have to convert this into an integer. Even if we give 23.0 or even if we give normal 23, it will forcefully convert this into an integer value. Okay, but if we use something what is called eval, okay, this is also an inbuilt function. Let's comment out this for the time being. Okay, so with this eval function, so it has got the intelligence to understand, what by our whatever values we will give, it will make the data type accordingly. Okay, for example, I've used this eval function and I just want to see the type of A. Okay, so if I run this, enter the first number. Okay, if I give 12.0, to see it automatically converted into a float value. Again, if I run this, I give only 12. It is automatically converting this into an integer value. Again, I run this. Suppose I'm giving a value, a name, a string. Okay, it is automatically converting this into a string. Okay, so basically here we are not giving anywhere explicitly. We are not using int function or float function or string function. We are just using eval, and this is giving it enough intelligence to determine what is the data type of this particular number what we are going to enter. So is this clear, guys? Any doubt in this eval function?
So Danish, if we are not giving any data type, like if you are just entering any value with input, so default is string, right? Default
Correct.
data type is string.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
And if we want to our system to recognize itself, then we have
Yeah.
to use eval.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Any doubt, guys? Any other doubts we have? Okay. See this. Yeah. One more thing here. So now let's now. Yeah. So in this arithmetic operation, one more thing I wanted to show. Suppose I have one variable name. So one thing I want, okay, so we have this name variable and we are trying to print this name. Okay, so if we run this, we will get an error. Okay, name error, name is not defined. So why are we getting this error? Because we are declaring it after the print statement. Okay, so this should be declared before the print statement. Suppose if we don't have any variable called NA in this program. Okay, we have not declared. Okay, so if we run this, we'll get the same error. Okay, so before using any variable, first we have to declare this. Okay, this was one thing, because in programs we will often see while doing the code, we are printing some variable, but we are getting this error. That means this variable name has not been declared earlier. Okay, that was one thing. And then we have, suppose we have one number 12, and we are going to concatenate the two. Okay, name plus. So inside print statement now we can give this any expressions also. Okay, so expressions is nothing, just when we are doing between any two variables, we are doing some sort of operation, so that forms the basic expression. So we can do some like, for example, I can do this number is a variable, I can do number uh, into 12. Okay, this is also allowed. So if we just run this, so we're getting output as 144. Okay, so if we are performing any operations inside print statement, that is also allowed. So here we are just trying to concatenate name plus number. Is this going to work if we are going to add these two things? Anyone wants to take a guess? We are so basically name is a string and number is an integer. We are trying to do addition of a integer and a string.
It becomes Samir 12.
Samir 12. Let's see. So you see the error type, unsupported operand type for int and string. Okay, so addition between an integer and string is not allowed. So what we can do, we can just change it to string using this str function just now we saw, right? Now this becomes a string, then we can do the operation. 12 Samir. Okay, but a normal addition between two different data types, string and integer, is not allowed. Okay, so let's see. We have another number. Let's see, second dot number. So this we are making it as float. Okay, now let's see if we try to do addition of an integer number with a float, the float value. Okay. So let's run this. Okay, so by performing integer with a float, because they both belong to numbers, right? They are both belong to numbers, so it performs a normal addition. But if you see the data type of the result, what is the data type of this? The float value. Okay, so yeah, integer plus float gives you a float value. What if we have two both are integers? So what will be the data type of the result? Anyone can take a guess?
Integer.
Okay, integer plus integer gives an integer. Fine, integer into an integer. This will also, hope it will give an integer. Yes. What about division? Both are integers. Okay, but if we divide it, we will get a float value. So this is the catch here. You should any for any arithmetic operations between two integers, it will return an integer except when we do a division. Okay. Division will always return a float value, even if we divide two integers. Okay. So let's mention this. Division between two integers will result of the slope. Okay, this was one thing, and then between any operation between an string, like normal addition between a string and integer is not allowed. Okay, but there are some operations. If you like, if we see here, we do a name multiplied by 3. Okay, so this is string into 3. So is this going to work?
Yes.
Okay, so it is giving us 3 Samir, so whatever is the number we'll give, it will print that same string that many times. Okay, so we will cover the some operations, many things in a string. We will cover it later in the class. Okay, but just for normal addition is not allowed, subtraction is not allowed, division is not allowed, but this multiplication, this is allowed. This will just multiply the number of that same string, the same number what we give as a second parameter. Okay, and and for print statement, one more thing, like yesterday we saw something called f string. Okay, so this f string it came into existence since I think Python version 3.6. Okay, before that, people were making use of format method. So what is this format and what is f string? So like maybe we convert this into edge, convert this into height. So so we can have a new string. I can just name it person details. We for f string we start this with the normal small f over here. Okay, then you can write here. So we normally just showing normal person's name is we can for if we can declare variables within a string using this f string. Okay, person's name is this. We have to give flower brackets and we have to give the variable name. Age is and it is okay, and then we can just print it. Run this. Okay, so with the help of f string within a string, we can pass. This is easier when we print rather than printing. Normally, how will we print? For example, if we don't use f string, we print like this inside the person's name is, we enclose, this in, we enclose this in double quotes, person name is this, then we give a comma, and then we give the variable name. Okay, and then again we give a comma, and then we write this is again we give a comma, and then we use this variable name. And then we write like this, and height is, so this makes it quite lengthy, also a little bit complex, also not good looking also, right? This, if you write it like this, so this will also work. But to avoid these many things, what we can do, we can just make use of this entire thing, and we can replace this. Okay, both will give the same output. Both will give the same output, but the look wise, which one is simpler, right? This one looks good, good, elegant, right? This one, second line. We don't have to give so many commas, and then we have for separating each variable. We are just using a single string. We are just starting with F, and we are putting all the values. So is this clear, guys? And we can, we can give this entire thing in a single string. Like we are using the single string, right? This entire thing we are giving it in a single string, and then we are just printing this. So any doubt in this F string, guys? Any questions?
So Danish, how we can define this F string means, like the meaning I didn't understand that.
So
Like in single line we can write all the variables you're saying.
correct, yes. So what we are making use here now, we first F, so it's called F string. Why? Because we have to start with F. Okay. Before starting our string, we have to give the small letter F, and the variable names we have to give it in this flower brackets.
Flower bracket. Okay. Instead of comma, we just have to add this bracket. Okay.
We just have to add this. Like you can see the difference, right? Here we are separating everything, by commas inside this, but here we are giving it in a single line without using without having to separate the different variables in commas. Okay. This was F string, and before F string came, they had another thing called format method. Okay, I'll show you that as well. So if we take the same thing here, we have that format method where we no need to give F in between. This is called format. And we'll just keep the flower brackets empty. Okay, and at the end of the string, we'll use a dot notation. Okay, and we will use this format method, and here we are going to pass the variable name, like name, age, and height. Okay, so let me comment out this. So we see we have got this is not required now. We have got the same variable name twice, right? We are using it twice. So is this going to give us any error? So whenever we have the same variable name twice now, so whatever is the last value what we give, the one which comes later, it will take that value. Okay. For example, I declare another variable percent details. I just give out a value of 12. Okay. If I run this, so we'll get the latest value of the copy. Okay. we can have, but it will always take the last value. So basically I was talking about this format method. Okay, so let's comment on this also. Let's run this. Yep, you see it is working in a similar fashion what is doing for f string. Okay, but from the, from 3.6 version of the Python they introduced f string. Though it's in the latest version this will also work and f string will also work. So depending on whatever the user is comfortable with, they can use both. Okay, this format method has got one interesting thing as well. For example, we can give some numbers here. Okay, 0, 1, and 2. So name. So this the first parameter that we are passing here. So this is 0. This is age is 1 and height is 2. Okay, let's make the height as 125. You can pass it in this way also. If you run this, it will give you the same value. And suppose if you give a 2 over here in person's name and a 0 here and a 1 here. So basically this person's name is 2. 2, it will take it as height. Okay. Age is 0, it will take it as name. And height is 1, it will take it as age. Okay, it is going to interchange these things. This person's name is 125, age is Samir, and height is 12. So the first parameter is 0th one, age is first one, height is second one. So it can, we can give the numbers also like this in format method. This is just for your FYI, okay? There's nothing much to do here, just for your information. So any doubt guys so far on the topics what I have covered? Okay. Now we have this operator, right? Okay. Now, okay, let's finish this. Let's talk about we have seen the operators, right? We have seen operators. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, word division. Now suppose I have one variable called result where I am doing these operations to this is 3 plus 5 minus 2 multiplied by 2 and then divide by 5. So now we have to understand what will be the value of this. Okay, so we have to understand which operators it will be, which operation it will be doing first, which it will be doing later. Okay, so to understand this, we have something called operator precedence. Okay, so which precedence is nothing but which will be executed first and which will be executed later. Okay, so yep. So if you see this document here, so we have few operators. Multiplication sign is there. Division sign is there. Modulus is also there. Okay, modulus, have I told you we have used? Oh, so this modulus is for reminder what we give after division. So I forgot to cover this. This is a reminder of this. Okay, suppose we have a reminder also here. Let's see. Okay, so this multiplication, division, and this modulus. Okay, so these are having the same precedence. Okay, and then comes our addition, subtraction, and then equals to. And there's something called associativity. Okay, so what is this associativity? For example, if so these three are having the same priority. Okay, all this should be executed first. But if they are on the same line, so we have multiplication sign also, we have division sign also, which one will be executed first? So it will move from left to right. Whatever comes first will be executed first between these three operators. Am I making sense? And like you guys are able to understand between this precedence and associativity? Okay, so for example, so we don't have for this floor division, okay, but it will take it as a this all only, this one only. Okay, we'll take it at this only. So it will come here, to sit here. This one also is on the same precedence. So if you see, so 12 floor division 3, what this is going to return? This will return a 4. Okay, and then we have what we have 4 plus, so addition is coming, addition is having low priority. Okay, so first it will see whether these are present or not in our expression, then it will come see this plus or minus. Okay, so we have 4 plus 5 minus 2. So this, then there is multiplication. Okay, this is also having the same precedence. So 2, so this 2 into 2 will be 4. So will be 4 in 4 plus 5 minus 4. Okay, and then we have a division 4 by 5. So 4 by 5 will give you how much? 4 by 5 will give you 0 0.8. Okay, so we will have 0 0.8, and then we have a modulus of 2, right? So this is going to give the reminder. So this remainder will be how much? I think my 0.8 mod 2 will give you, let's see how much will give. Okay, just a moment. If I do 0.8 mod 2, what are we going to get? Okay, we'll get 0.8 only. Okay, so this will leave as 0.8. So we'll have this 4 plus 5 minus 0 0.8. And so now it will come. So now we have plus and minus. So whatever comes first will be executed first. So it will be 4 plus 5, 9, 9 minus 0.8. That is going to give you how much? 8.2, I think. Let's see whether we are getting the same or not. 8.2. Try to run this. 8.2. So any questions, guys, in this? Anyone having any doubt? Is it clear? Okay. So if this is clear, fine. So okay, so but if we have, you know, brackets, if we want to execute any expression before then any other expression, okay, we can always enclose it in brackets. For example, if I want this statement to be executed first, even before this multiplication or this division, okay, so we have to enclose this in bracket. So now if we run this, you will see a different output. Okay, is it clear, guys? Any doubt so far? Okay, so no doubt means I can continue with the next set of topics. Oh, so we have seen till now variables, we have seen strings, print statement, arithmetic operators we have seen. Okay. Now there is something called relational operators. Okay. Let's do it in a new file. Okay, so what are relational operators? They come, we have things like, this is a greater than sign, okay? Greater than, less than. We have something, whether equal or not. Okay, it's not equal to. Okay, it's like greater than or less than. Equals to. Not equals to. Okay, we have some of these operands like this. So suppose we have a variable called age 10 and b as 20, and I will just compare them, okay, and print the output a greater than b. Okay, and the output of this when we execute this, the output of the relational operators is a Boolean value. Okay. So, oh, I forgot. I have not. I didn't speak about Boolean, right? This is also a data type. Okay, so Boolean, yeah, Boolean is a data type. It will have only two values, either a true or a false. Okay, can have either two values, either it's true or false. Okay, for example, I just assign the value a as true, and this t should be in capital letter. Okay, t should not be in a small letter. T should be a capital letter. And if you see the data type of this, how do you see the data type of the variable name? Which function we use?
Type.
Correct. We use type. This type. This will be relational operators. So if we run this, so you see it belongs to a class bool. Okay. So this is belongs to a class bool. This is nothing but a Boolean data type. Okay. It's either a true or a false. Okay. So now if we compare, if we use two relational operators, for example, a is 10 and b is 20. So if we just print a greater than b, okay. So a is 10 and b is 20. So is this statement true or false? A greater than b? 10 is greater than 20. That is obviously not a true statement, right? So if we run this, we'll get output as false.
False.
Okay. If you make a as 100, so 100 is greater than 20. Yes. So it will return a true. Okay. What about if we use not equal to? A is definitely not equal to b. That's a true statement, returning a true. Okay. Similarly, if we see a equals to b, this is a true statement or a false statement. This double equals to means comparison. Okay, it's not a single equal to. Single equal to is called an assignment operator. Okay, this is a comparison operator, equals to. So this will obviously be false. Both are not equal. Okay, so where do we use this relational operators? Where do we use this? This is very important. So it relational operators are mostly used, in conditions checking. Okay, in conditional statements, you can say. Okay, relational operators are mostly used in yeah, am I recording this session? Just give me a moment for the check. Yes. So relational operators used in conditional statements. Okay. So conditional statements, nothing when we see some conditions. For example, let's make this more relevant. Suppose you have your bank balance, the variable called bank balance that is having the value in your account. Okay, and you're trying to withdraw some amount from the ATM. You're trying to withdraw 15,000, that is more than your bank balance. Okay, so when you do this, you'll be able to withdraw. What should the system do? If bank balance, or you can say if withdraw amount is greater than your bank balance, it should tell you that your balance is insufficient. Right? So I have introduced you to something called if statement. Okay. So this if is used for condition checking. Okay, so let's try to run this program. Okay, unterminated string literal. Can anyone tell me where I have made a mistake?
Semicolon at the end after insufficient.
Semicolon we is not allowed in Python. Semicolon we have in Java.
No, this inverted
Double quotes.
double quote. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. So now if you run this, your balance is insufficient. Okay, so if statement, if you see what we are doing, so basically, and this is the condition, right? And if statement will either take a true or a false statement. Okay, so suppose if I remove this withdraw amount, so what will this return? For example, okay, let's take a variable. This is check. Name of this variable is check. We are giving this thing in this check variable. Okay, and we will use check here. So this statement, okay, this will be true or false. Greater than withdraw amount is 15,000 and bank balance is 12,000. So is this 15,000 withdraw amount 12,000 is greater than 15,000?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true, right? Withdraw amount is greater than it's written true. So in the place of check, so check, the value of check should be true, right? So if true, then this statement will be executed. Okay. Okay, and you see the value of check. Also, you can see the value of check. It's true. It's true. Okay. What if we just reverse the condition? We make it less than. So what we are going to get now? Yeah, anyone having any doubt?
False.
False, right? So this will be false. So whenever it will see false, this statement is not going to be executed. I think there's some background noise. I would request the participants who are not speaking, please go on mute. Thank you. So now if you run this, we are only getting false, and this condition is not getting, this print statement is not getting executed. So if condition will only get executed if we have the value here as true. So even if we can write this, if true, okay, this statement will be executed. Okay. So basically, if statement will always check the condition. Okay. Even if you give this, it will convert this into either a true statement or a false statement, and then it is going to act accordingly. Okay. So normally we don't use like this. Okay, we normally will just give this condition only in if statement. Okay, we don't do it in a separate variable. We will give this condition, but you have to understand by in background what is happening. This is either returning a true or a false statement based on which this is getting executed. So another interesting thing to note here is this colon statement we are giving here. Okay, after the condition. If we don't give it, what is going to happen? Let's run this. So it is telling me this colon expected. Okay, so we have to give this colon. This is mandatory. Another thing you saw, there is some space over here. Can you see this space? So far there was no space, right? So this space automatically when I'm entering here after colon, it is taking me to this particular line. Okay, what if I don't want this space? Okay, I don't want this space. So can you read out this error? What is the error we are getting? Anyone wants to volunteer? Or is it too small for you guys to see? Is it not readable?
It's expecting a indented block after if
Correct.
statement.
Indented block. So from here comes the concept of indentation. Okay. So here we get the concept of indentation. Okay. So what is in Python? Okay, in indentation means that when we have a block of code, okay, like if condition is there, and after that we will have a set of conditions, it is expecting some space to be here. Okay, and that space by default it is taking. I am not giving it. See, if I hit enter, automatically my prompt is over here, so it is expecting me to start from here. If we don't give it, we will get errors. Okay, so we should maintain this uniformity. Okay, so even after after this also, if I will mention anything, we have to write it just below it. We cannot write it from here. So this will ensure that this all are part of if block, this entire thing. Okay, so if we write something here, print, this is not part of if statement. Okay, so it will be if this condition is withdraw amount less than bank balance. Is this a false or true? Oh, forget about true. This is very. I will just mention here false. Okay, so if false means it will not execute these two, but it will. But as this is not part of the statement, it will execute only this. Okay, so if I run this, so you see this is not part of if statement. Why? Because we are not following the indentation here. If we will push it inside this, okay, then this also won't be printed. See, we are getting a blank output. So is this clear, guys, this indentation thing? Any doubts, anyone having in this indentation? Then we'll come to this condition checking, if condition, else condition. Okay, so no question, nothing means, okay, it's clear, thank you. Now, so we have given this if condition, okay, so in our case, it can be either true, it can be either true or false, okay. So if there are two conditions only, we can have another block called else. Same else will also end with a colon, and we have to follow that number of spaces, okay, that is fixed. So we have to give here, this is else condition. Okay, so if it is, if false, that means this will not be executed, it will come into else block. Okay, it will execute this statement. Okay, is this clear? If you will write if true, then can you tell me what will be the output?
Your balance is insufficient.
Yes, all these three statements will be executed one after another. Okay, if I want to print all these statements in a single line rather than 3 lines, what do we need to give here? If you remember, two keyword arguments we discuss, sep and end, right?
Sep and yes.
Yes, we can make use of this end statement, and we want only space. We don't want anything else. We have to give end here also. Okay, so if we run this, so all of these are part of the same line. Okay.
Hi, Danish. I actually have a small doubt here.
Yeah, sure.
So, by default, does the if statement is always true?
No, if so, we have to give some condition here.
No, as we, in the previous example, we have seen that, if you're taking as if false,
Yeah.
then the inside block is not printing. But if you're taking it as true,
Yeah.
it's printing out. So by default, does it print only for true, right?
So it will enter this if condition only if it is true.
Okay.
Okay, if it will, if we have only two conditions. Okay, now suppose I have let's take two numbers, A as 10 and B as 20. Okay, so here and we have another, let's select the operator. Okay, put enter the operator or enter the operation. Let's take operator only, enter the operator. Let's close this. Okay, so we are basically we are taking in input from the user. So we will check if operator equals to plus, if we are giving plus just a single plus sign, okay, then we are going to do the sum. Okay, print sum is A plus B. Okay, but so we can have multiple conditions also. Okay, so if is there, then we have something called elif. Again, it will check the operator. If the operator is a minus sign, then we are going to do a subtraction. Okay, so we are keeping it till plus subtraction and this addition and subtraction. Okay, so if the user is giving some other output that is not part of plus or subtraction, then we will just end this by saying print, please enter either plus or minus. Okay, so if we run this, again the same mistake I did, there is no closing quotes. So enter the operator. So I am giving a plus, so sum is 30. Okay, if I again run this, enter the operator, I give a minus, difference is minus 10. And if I run this, I give something, I give some random anything. Please enter either plus or minus. So here what we are doing here, we are checking for multiple conditions. So basically, if you just convert this like operator equals to plus. Okay, if we are giving a plus, so this will be a true statement, right? When it is true, it is entering this. Okay, so whenever any block, if it needs to be executed, it should either be a true. It should be a true statement. It should be true, then only this will be executed. So if suppose if we are giving a minus sign, so it will check it is plus, no, so this will return false. It will not enter here. Okay. Next, it will check. Okay, this is minus. Yes, this is matching. So this is returning a true statement. So it will enter the here and print this. And last condition is when all the conditions is not, any condition is not met, then by automatically it will come to the last block and it will execute this. So is this clear, guys? If else we can have n number of statements like this conditions. We can have multiple elif. Okay, and at the end we can have a else. If you don't want, you can also this is optional. We don't need to print anything also. If we want, we can avoid this else also. This is not a mandatory thing.
So Danish, you just have given the examples, right? It's not
Right.
mandatory that we have to use if. After if there should be elif only, right? We can use two if conditions also, right?
If we have some condition, where we can have only two possible values.
Okay, so after this first condition of plus addition,
Yeah.
you're using the second, which is subtraction. So
Yes.
can we use if again there, like if?
No, if we have multiple conditions to check, we cannot have two if at the same level. We can have it. We can have one if inside another if. For example, we have this condition. Okay, I'm just commenting out this 1 minute, but that I will cover in the next class. Okay, but I will just show you here. So we can have one if inside if. Okay, if true, just a normal if true. Print nested if. Okay, this is called a nested if. This is allowed. If we run this, enter the operator, I give a plus sign here. So sum and nested if both are printing. Okay, this is allowed. But if we give another if here, okay, this is also allowed, but this will not be a part of this condition checking. This will be a separate condition then. But if you have multiple conditions to check, then we have to give if elif, multiple conditions. But if we if you want to use only if, then this will be a separate thing and this will be a separate thing. It will be even if it is true or false, this will also be executed. It will come here and it will check the condition here.
So basically, the same logic should be only within a block.
Correct. Right. Yes. Only within a block. It should be within the same if else block. It should not be outside this. So if we have multiple conditions, we have to use elif.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we have already reached the end of the session. So any doubts, guys? Any doubts, guys? Anyone having in the topics of what we cover, what I covered so far, or from yesterday's session, or if you anything in installation and all, you can always ask. Okay. This whatever session we had, this will be recorded and we will upload this in YouTube. Okay. And only the participants will be given access to this recording. So basically you have to give your email ID, which is registered with YouTube. Okay, so that we will give access to that particular email ID only, so that you can access this videos later also.
Should we drop our email IDs on the WhatsApp group where we are in the target WhatsApp group?
Correct. In that target WhatsApp group, please drop your individual email IDs, but make sure that same email ID is linked with YouTube, because if you give another email ID, so you won't be able to access this particular recording. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Danish.
Yeah, that is one thing. Second thing, like in whatever topics I have covered, I will give you assignments. Okay. So we are covering so many topics, but we have also, 2 hour session, we have to cover many topics here. So we have ample time also. We have 1 week, right? So you can, in your time, you can try to complete the assignments, because I can come and speak for 2, 3, 4 hours, but if you don't practice, you won't be able to remember. Okay. So I would encourage everyone to do the assignments. Okay, that will help you in gaining a proper, better understanding of what we are doing here. Okay, guys. So that was all from my end. If you have any questions, you can ask, or we are good to close the session.
Next week also we have to use the same Zoom meeting link.
You can yes, you can use the same link, but most probably I will forward you one. We can use it for 2, like every weekend for 2 classes we can use it.
Okay, can we open this meeting in desktop? Actually, I'm using my mobile and it's very small to.
Sure. You should use a desktop only. How will you understand? It will be very difficult to do it with this your mobile.
But
only thing you have to connect your WhatsApp with your system.
Okay.
Or you can have Zoom installed in your desktop, and then you can use the meeting ID to open it directly from there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try. If I have any doubt, I'll message.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Where can we find assignments? Okay, yeah, we will. I will send these programs also, what we have done, and also the assignments in the WhatsApp group only. You can have your WhatsApp in your desktop. You can install a WhatsApp in your desktop or a laptop, and you can access from there. Okay, all these notes, programs, and all the assignments also, and this Word document also, where we have seen this operator. This also I will send. So no, I will send in the WhatsApp group only. You can take it from there. Okay. So okay. Any other question, guys? No. Okay. I hope you guys like this session. Okay. We will see you over the next weekend. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Thank you, Danish. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Danish.
Thank you.